Good evening, everybody. Happy Sunday. Meteorologist Hunter Forst here, and this is Hurricane Hub Live, where we track everything that's going on in the tropics every day, Monday through Sunday at 8 o'clock. And as we take a look at what we're looking at in the tropics, there's not a whole bunch going on, but there is an area that we are watching. There are no named systems out there in the Atlantic right now, but we do have Invest 95L, and that's a tropical wave that came off the coast of Africa just the other day, and odds of this developing are pretty high. National Hurricane Center giving this a 50% chance of developing into a tropical depression within the next 2 days, and then a 70% chance within the next week here. And the good news is it does look like if it does develop, it will likely be a fish storm. Taking a look, though, at the tropical satellite, here's the wave out there right now. Seeing some of that convection kind of falling apart a bit earlier this afternoon, but starting to see a few more thunderstorms bubbling up around here, but certainly seeing that spin with this area of thunderstorms, and certainly could see a tropical depression over the next couple of days. But here's a look at the wind shear outlook as we head into the day tomorrow. A little bit going off towards the coast of Africa, Cape Verde Islands. A lot of wind shear off towards the north. And systems have a tough time forming, or they'll weaken really quickly if they run into wind shear. It helps to squash any tropical development. So could run into, a few issues with the wind shear, but models are really saying that this is going to develop as we go throughout the work week. But also there's a little bit of Saharan dust off towards its north, and that's going to continue off towards the west as we go throughout the work week. So it'll have a little bit of shear. There'll be a little bit of Saharan dust as well as it tries to get its act together. So that may, act to help squash some of that development. But it is still looking like we could see some as we go throughout the next couple of days. Here's a look at the spaghetti models, and they're pretty good agreement as we go throughout the entire work week. They're pretty close together, so some strong confidence that it'll continue off towards the west over the next couple of days. But the Leeward Islands really have to pay close attention. Same with Puerto Rico. All of these islands here have to continue monitoring this system. So if you have any plans to go to the Caribbean as we head into next weekend, you're certainly going to want to continue watching. But then as we take a look at as we head into the upcoming weekend, you see that curve like a lot of the other systems have been doing this summer. So the good news is it is looking like it will go out to sea, but the strength is still in question. The European model not really doing a whole bunch, at least with this latest model run with this system. A weaker storm as we head into the upcoming work week. It gets closer to the islands, so certainly some increased wind speed, surf as we head towards the end of the work week, but not looking like it's going to be extremely strong, at least with this current model run. And then it kind of squashes it, and it doesn't really do much for the next named system, and then it kind of just pushes off towards the north. But the GFS model saying, I think it's going to be a little bit stronger. So certainly has a much stronger system, tropical storm, maybe a hurricane by the middle of the upcoming work week. Still similar to the European in terms of getting closer to the Leeward Islands. So again, if you have any trips planned to Puerto Rico, any of these islands here, Bridgetown, again, you're going to want to watch this one very, very closely. But luckily with this model run, it does keep the system north of the islands, not interacting with them or any landfalls, at least with the European and GFS model run. So that's some good news. But of course, things will continue to shift and change over the next couple of days. But this one also taking the system off towards the north. So Bermuda still has to watch this one as well. But as we get further down the road, as we get towards the middle of the month, October 15th through the 21st, Climate Prediction Center is saying we should still continue watching portions of the Caribbean and the Gulf for some development possible. So still a lot of time left in the season. The Caribbean, a place to look as we get towards the middle of October. Here's a look at the names we've seen so far. Andrea, Barry, Chantel, Dexter. We've had Aaron, which was a Category 5. Gabrielle was a Category 4. Umberto was a Cat 5. And Imelda, which we just saw, got up to Category 2 strength. Next name on the list would be Jerry. And then we have Karen and Lorenzo. Normally, so far, for averages here for the Atlantic, we normally see about 14 named storms, 7 hurricanes, and 3 major hurricanes. And we've already had 3 major hurricanes. All right, coming up on Hurricane Hub Live, we'll talk about what's going on in the Eastern Pacific. That's coming up in a couple of minutes. All right, as we take a look at the Eastern Pacific, certainly a bit more active than the Atlantic. 2 named systems out there right now. One smaller storm trying to hold on to its life, but also there's a much bigger storm just off the coast of Mexico that's continuing off towards the north and west as we go throughout the next couple of days. But right now, there's another area to watch here in the Atlantic. So here's the hurricane just off the coast of Mexico. But then we have this area here in orange, which has a 60% chance of development over the next 7 days. So certainly a lot going on in the Eastern Pacific. We have Hurricane Octave, which is going to slowly weaken over the next couple of days. Right now, Category 1 hurricane with winds of 80 miles an hour, going to move slowly to the east over the next couple of days. Right now, only moving at about 6 miles an hour. And again, going to continue to weaken as we head into the upcoming work week. But then we also have Hurricane Priscilla. Right now, a Category 1 hurricane expected to become a Cat 2 as we head into the upcoming work week. Winds at 75 miles per hour. And this one's moving very, very slowly as well to the north-northwest at only 3 miles an hour. But again, it's expected to strengthen as we head into Monday and Tuesday up to a Cat 2 by the middle of the week. And then it'll enter some cooler waters as we head into the end of next week, where it will start to weaken from those cooler waters. So here it goes on the European model as we head into the upcoming work week. It encounters those cooler waters. So eventually we'll start to see that starting to weaken, but could bring some rain to areas in the southwest from Los Angeles up into Las Vegas. Four Corners region could see some of that moisture getting pulled up into that area. So certainly something they're going to have to watch over the next couple of days. But that's all that's really going on here in the tropics, in the Atlantic and the Pacific. But of course, we'll continue to keep you updated over the coming days as we continue to track Invest 95L. Could become Jerry this week, but we're here every day at 8 o'clock to keep you updated. Enjoy the rest of your evening.